Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Another today's TGIF. Thank goodness it's the end of the week. Hooray! Weekend party. Yo, Robin, I like that. That astrology thing you sent over, that was very, very good. Very, very good. I enjoyed that. That makes sense, too. Wouldn't surprise me if we get some type of break and it just rebounds and traps the shorts. That's what I'm thinking, and that made sense where they say they think the 50-day the 200-day will hold up, and it wouldn't surprise me if they find a way to try to bust it, and then all of a sudden it just turns around and goes up. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's see if I'm checking the sound here as we speak, just making sure I can hear myself. Up. Do I hear myself? Yep, there we are. Excellent. Yeah, so that would not surprise me. Robin sent over an analysis on the markets for astrological. He was talking to me yesterday about it, 2 days ago about it, and so it's all coming together. The 144-day and all that stuff, and the crash of 87, and so anyhow. There we are. We are looking at the dollar index. You can see that, and there's some of the data too that just came out. Retail sales. You see, up. I guess it was down 0.1%. Expected -0.2, and it came out -1. I love how it's always pointing up though like that. Okay. Same thing with the total retail sales. So, and that is what's going on there. So now where we go from here is we take a look at the dollar index. You see it's kind of trapped in a sideways mode right there on the J4X. You see that where it goes, it goes green and then red and green and then red. And the fast is at, where's the fast at? 55, almost 55.1. And the slow is at 58. So it's still in that bearish mode, just on the edge. Just on the edge. And then when we go over to Chicago Quant, you can see the beta platform that we're working with right now. Let me think. Let's see, where's it at? Okay, yeah. So there's the beta platform. Let me put it up on there too at the same time. Oh, it is on there. See it? And so you can see the same thing. You can see that it's been red for a bunch of days, and we've been in a sell for 3 full days. And then when we go over to the old platform that we're going to try to move away from once we get our beta running right, it's doing the same thing. It's in the sell there for a couple days here, like that right there. We should put a little red in there. Put that red line in there just to remind people that it's below the zero line. So you can see that. And the weekly still not breaking down too much. The fast is right there at the zero line. And we do have the green, the slow algorithm breaking the manifold here. But we're still in the histogram. You see it right there. They're both still above the zero line. So, boy, just when you think, well, maybe they'll break it down, it doesn't seem to happen. Yeah, and so that's where we're at. And today is TGIF. It's the end of the week, so this should be interesting. See how they play the market out here. We've had some really good conversations since Janos has suggested we talk more about the options. It was very interesting to see, the stocks are really fun when the ETFs and the stocks are much more interesting to look at the options. But, we've looked at the options in the British pound and so forth, and especially during the Brexit years, and, we're able to predict major moves days before it happened. So, it's good to have an option conversation. It's good to put together the algorithm with option strategies. That's a good thing to do. And what else can we say about all that? It's good to just have that discussion about the options because they're the future of investing. They're not some type of an event that's just exciting people. It became legal listed options started or was re-legalized in basically 1976 at the end of 75. And since then, they've been growing and growing, and every year they break the record of volume, and there's more participants, and it has allowed the markets to be the size that they are today. They would have never been this size without the option market. So more money can commit to an investment position without taking on any more risk than they ever did before, and that's a really good thing. Basically, you don't drive an automobile without car insurance. You don't own a piece of property or a house without insurance, or an apartment without having some type of insurance. Health insurance. Just all of that. So there's no reason why there shouldn't be, equity insurance. All right. So from there, we shoot over to. Let's take a look at the. What are we going to look at? We're going to look at the euro. Let's take a look at the dollar-euro pairs trade, unless someone wants to see something. And if you do, then we will take a look at it. Put it up on J4X first. Right there. There we are. And you can see here the little firmness that's going on with the euro. It's trying to lift up. Over here, we'll take a look at it right there. There it is right there. You see it's pretty much unchanged right at the moment there. We got a green and a red. And you can see we've been in the daily buys right here for the last 4 days. Just like on J4X, you can see that pressure there for the last 4 days with the green hinkies. And you see we've got the fast moving at 56.9 as we speak, 55.9, and we have the slow moving at 50.3. So it's showing that buying strength, just like right there it was at 52, and that was at 43. So it was in a buy there. Then the next day before that it was at 35.5, and it was at 43. So it's been trying to lift. And then this one there, it was at 36, and we were at 35.4, 35.3. So it's been trying to lift since this little curve, and since the hinkies joined in, it's joined in. So it's been very good there. You're looking at the slow stochastic versus the fast stochastic, two different competing stochastics. All right, so from the euro, what can we say about what we see over here? You can see right there, it's trying to get into the weekly buy. It's needs to do a lot more work today to do it. Maybe next week. It's not this week's business, possibly next week's business. That's in other words, it's not there yet. It's getting very warm and it's baking in the oven. So maybe next week they will find a way to try to turn it up. And let's see, let's find it over on our beta at the same time. I always like to look at the beta, and there's the beta. This is the futures contract, not the spot, and it's just starting to climb up into the future the last 2 days. It's just starting to show some life in there. The weekly is still not also yet got across the fast has. You can see that there's the there's the zero. And it's been the fast has been through it for almost 2 weeks. It's been telling us that it wants to turn up. It's been telling us since back here it's been wanting to turn up. In this area right there. But we follow more of the slow because we're looking for a much more conservative, lower risk execution. So, and you can use the fast, in using paying attention to the fast, giving you a warning that. This thing's trying to turn up, and the slow has not yet, but just be careful. And then when you go and look at the dailies and you see all these greens and you see it in a buy there, then it drops into sell and starts to battle its way back in. I think this is the second day in a buy, not the first. We need to get this chart fixed. And I got to get my son to he built this chart for us, and we've got to get him to do his thing. They're in a robot contest next week, and I was down there yesterday trying to get them to work on it, but I could tell that they were so deep involved in their coding on their robots that they have a robot contest next Saturday. So I mean they're definitely deeply involved in that, and so I didn't pester them. I just sat there and worked on my they have a workstation for me that I can work on down there at the market. So anyhow, that's the euro. So from the euro, we're going to throw on ours real quick. We'll throw up on the 6. We'll put the cable up there, the futures contract, until we get that straightened out too. He's trying to get us linked with the data feed from Dukascopy, and then that'll really straighten us out. And then we'll be able to show you cash much more, and it'll be so much more efficient. Where's the cable? I know it's here somewhere. There's the spot right there. But we don't really trust that data feed. So there it is right there. There's the futures contract, and that's a little bit more accurate. You can see here this is the cable, and it did not really get into the buy whatsoever out of this little push on the downside. Now let's put it up on J4X. Right there. You see the same thing. Lots of red. Been underneath. That's at 25. This is at 25. So the slow is just above the fast. Let's see, what's today doing? 26.7 versus 28. Okay, so the fast is moving back up over it. And at the same time, we go over to here and slide in the cable right there. It's been somewhat the same battle, except for we got a daily buy there. We're on our on the futures contract, which the futures contracts in many ways always give me some confidence that they're wired in well. Making markets in the spot with a futures contract, you're just putting a premium on it, and so just like an option type of thing, it's a derivative. So we can see that the cable on the old platform, is showing us. Let me just put the mouse to it again, like right there, and you can see it did jump into a buy after going into the sell. Now when we go back to the beta, let's see if we can make this bigger too. You can see here it went into the sell. What's that? 8 days ago? 7 days ago? 2, 4, 6, 7 days back, and we're 7 days on the downside. We're not seeing today's bar here. It's driving me crazy. He's got to change this chart so we can see it. And so there's 3, there's 6, it's 7 also. We're not seeing that last one. We'll get that figured out. And you can see the weekly is trying to turn up. It's trying to do something on the upside. Still not doing the best. It started lifting and seems to have failed. Notice how the fast was moving through here and really starting to get going. Still didn't break the zero line, but it was showing life with all this strength in here with these daily buys. And then we go back to the other right there. And you can see the weekly doing the same exact thing as our beta. Trying to get through, but it's not even through the zero line. Just looking better. That's about it. Now, over on the beta, which is interesting, as you can see right there, is that on the weekly, you see the fast is broken down. It's actually broken through the, like it did here. It broke through the slow. And that was part of a nice slide still. So maybe this is just still trying to tell us that we're seeing strength in the dollar when we don't want to see strength in the dollar, don't want to accept that strength in the dollar. And that seems to be the way it goes. I mean, we can see the weekly. We see that it won't go into a weekly sell as we sip our tea this morning. And we can see that the algorithms are trying to tell us not to think you're picking a bottom. Don't pick a bottom, And that's what the pairs trade is trying to tell us over and over and over again. And you can see it in like there you go right there. You see that weekly still not able to get going. Same as we see right here, as I showed you a few minutes ago or 30 seconds back. Same situation, just refusing to get going. Wow. Huh. Interesting. All right. Now from there, what can we say about any of this? Um, I guess what it comes down to is that the dollar is just continuously being firm. There's no way of stop. Let's go back to the dollar real quick on this chart here. The dollar index just doesn't seem to want to quit. You can see it there, and it's in a weekly buy since the 102 area, and we've gotten up to the 107 out of that whole move over the last 3 months. But it still does not want to quit. It doesn't. As much as they're trying to pressure it here, it's still not going down that much. I mean, it's down. It's not at 107 anymore. It's at 106. So it is being pushed down, but not in any real strong fashion. All right. From there, we go over to the Swiss franc. Let's see how the Swiss is looking this morning. Right. Where's dollar Swiss? There it is. Dollar Swiss. Look at that. It's been gaining. I find that interesting that the out of all the currencies, the Swiss is the one that people try to, the American dollar and the Swiss franc is the place they run when it comes to physical currencies, paper currencies. And it's interesting to see the strength in that product. And it says to me that money is concerned at the moment, trying to get a little away from, what's going on. And let's take a look at it over on the platform. There. You can see here we are piercing the weekly as we speak. This is Friday, and it's doing it. It's trying to get into the sell. It's really pressing into it. And we're really close, and we may see this happen today. It may close in that weekly sell, which means that they're buying Swiss and they're selling dollars. And you can see we've been in that daily sell for many weeks. We had a couple day rest right there, but we went into the sell here, right there, and then rested for a day or two, and now back into the sell. Now today's a little, giving up a little of it, but nothing major. And then we go over and we look at the beta, our beta platform, right there. And it's showing you the same thing. It's like 6 solid days, definitely a 7th day at the moment. And the weekly has pierced the 0 line. And the fast closed last week in above, and now the slow is passing, closing above. So this is trying to get into the buy on our beta. And that says a lot. And so that's it's definitely saying something, and the fact that it's the Swiss franc, the classic go-to for the last 4 centuries, makes me think money is saying, hey, we want to be diversify a little bit more away from the dollar. That's all. We're not seeing it that much in the other pairs trades. I mean, we are in the sense that we see it in the euro. The euro is in a daily buy for 4 days. Cable's in the daily sell. So obviously, they're running towards a diversity. Euro can handle the size. That's the difference. Someone can come in with billions and they can handle it. That was good. My sip of my tea. So quiet morning. All right. From there, we go over to the yen. And let's see what the yen is saying to us this morning. There's the futures contract. And this is kind of whippy. It knows it's been heading down, and then you get this crazy stuff like that. I'm not sure what that's all about, but the math is telling us that it's still moving down. We can't see what it's saying today yet. Somewhere along the day it will. It's in that weekly sell there. You can see that with no problem. And remember, the futures contract in the United States on the yen and the Swiss work in reverse. whereas on the futures contract on cable and euro work the same way as spot. So let's put that up there. And there it is right there. You can see we're banging against that 150 area. It does. Oh, you can't see that. It does not seem to want to quit that. It's very curious. I saw this today. Someone came out on what was it? Oh, the Prime Minister said he's going to dedicate time to figure out what they can do about inflation. Yep, he's going to try to figure out what to do about inflation. So, and then they were talking about we've been watching the flow of U.S. bonds, and since bond rates are enormously low and minus at times in Japan, a lot of Japanese investment goes to America. So, because we pay interest on bonds, and out there a lot of times they don't get any money for it. As a matter of fact, they even have to pay. So it really diverts them from wanting to be invested. Now, at the same time, we've seen where China has been selling bonds of late. And that is probably because of all the problems they've been having. They're having another real estate company that has missed their payment again. It missed the 30-day grace period. So in other words, it's like 35 days behind. It's only $15 million. $15 million, not billion. The company is got something like $11 billion in debt. And so $11 billion in debt. They have a payment of $15 million, and they can't find the money to pay. So it says a lot, and it says a lot about the Chinese government, as we always say around here. We don't understand how to follow them. I can only follow them. I can't trust their statistics. So the only way I can follow them is, as they would say, when the rubber meets the road. In other words, like when you're trying to measure a tire on a vehicle or something. And that is through the actions itself. And what we see is every time they get in financial problems, they let them fester and go wrong. It's no way to try to be, if you're trying to convince people that one day you might be the lead financial country in the world, it's not good to keep on declaring bankruptcy in small companies or debt that's outside China. That does not give investors confidence that they're doing the right things. So I saved that email even. Let me see if I can find it. I saved that email 2 days ago. It was going to be one of my conversations because anytime I get real data that I can trust, I'm like white on rice on it. I want to see it. There it is. It was on the 18th. Let's see, a country garden $15 million coupon payment deadline has expired without word of payment, fueling expectations that the Chinese biggest private property developer has defaulted on its offshore debt as the nation's real estate woes deepen. Non-payment would trigger cross defaults in other countries of country garden bonds, as it is standard in bond contracts. The company has almost $11 billion of offshore bonds, and a default would set the stage for one of China's biggest corporate debt restructurings. One bondholder of the tranche in question, who declined to be identified, discussing the confidentiality of his information, said he had not received payment on his coupon as the 30-day grace period ended. Another source familiar with the situation told Reuters the coupon payment had not been made by 1 p.m. on, I guess that was Wednesday at 1300 GMT. So, if a country wants to be, what do you call it? The world wants to be the world reserve currency and wants to be a top operation like that, then the only way to do that is to not let simple payments of $15 million on $11 billion of debt not be paid. And we've seen that with Evergrande and so forth. And we're seeing buildings being taken back in Hong Kong by investors through the courts. We're seeing all those things go on. And so it's the only way for us to measure China's strength or weakness, because we don't trust their numbers. And so far, the last couple of years, we don't see any evidence that they're any bigger than, say, Japan financially. In other words, they're in the top 5 or 6 financial countries in the world. That's it. We don't see anything that really shows us that they are very close to being equal with the United States. Nothing at all. Not one iota, nothing. So this is just another classic, and I don't mean to beat up on them. I just don't know where to get accurate data. And when I see accurate data like this, I have to report it and try to discuss it with you, because I don't want to be like a negative on China, just to dislike them. I just don't see any positives. That's the problem. So, in other words, whenever other people want to say, "Oh, they're going to replace the dollar, or they're going to be the number one economy in the world," I go, I don't see any evidence of that. I have not seen any evidence of that, and that's what always confuses me. So, all right, and that's where we leave off with that. So, from there, we go over to the classic laboratory. I know that we were looking at the yen, and we were in Asia, and no doubt they're at 40-year highs in their currency, but we go and look at something that's even more wilder and woollier, and that is the Euro Turkish lira. It's been banging against the 30. They raised rates by 100% back in late August. That's what that box represents right there. They went from 12.5% to 25% now. Whoever's getting that, I don't know, but that's what they claim they're paying in Turkey for the I guess you'd call it the swap trade. And so at this point, or the carry trade, the carry trade, and so what we're seeing is that increase of 100% in interest has not really helped the currency. It's not changing the direction of their situation. We always talk about good economic policy, free markets, free people, that's the way to go. The more government in control, the less functionality and success something's going to be. If that was not true, China would be the largest economy in the world. The Soviet Union would be the largest economy in the world. Soviet Union doesn't even exist anymore. All right. So from there, we go to, and let's go find the South African rand. That's the number one brick. We follow the rand, dollar rand pairs trade. It kind of gives us a good idea where the market is in that product, and at this point, we're let's see, where's the rand at? Let's put it up on this screen right here. We'll put it here for a moment. There's the South African rand. You see it's third day of lifting up, but normally that would mean that gold is going down. We're going to put it up on J4X. But we're not seeing that action in we see this increase here, but when we go and look at let's put that stuff up too right there. There it is. When we go and look at the dollar itself, not the dollar, the gold itself. There's gold, and it's still climbing. You see that there. So the South African rand, whatever's putting pressure on the rand, obviously is not putting the same pressure on the metals. And we go through all the metals at this point, because we're looking at the South African rand, and so we look at gold here, and you can see on our work it's going to go into a weekly buy. You can see last week, or at the beginning, the first day of the week, we had the fast lifting up. You can see that line right there. Just lifting up and jumping through the weekly buy with no problem at all. The pressure has been on. It's been in a daily buy since back here. So, that low right there did it. And so what we see here is it just won't let go. I guess, we have a lot of geopolitics going on at the moment. And as long as we have those geopolitics going on, it's making it very, very hard for the metals to back off. Everybody's thinking, okay, I better hold on to some of that. Let's keep a little of that in the portfolio. And so people are not walking away, that's for sure. Let's see if I can find it on our platform. There it is right there. And let's put it over there. You can see the platform. You can see same thing. It's been in a matter of fact, it's even, let's see, that was on the 9th. I imagine that's the same thing right there. And that's the 7th. So that the Friday before it even got into the, I guess it was this one. See where we have the red and the green? Right there. Oh, you can't see that. Let's do this. So it went into the buy right there. And you can see here, there's the line right there, but it was red and green. We had to wait for this. And there it is right there. It's been in a buy and it has never come out of it. Whereas, did it do it here? No, it's been pretty much the same way. It's been steadily in that daily buy. And the beta has been picking that up with no problem. Very smooth there. And then let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly closed in a weekly buy last week. So our fast and the slow joined in with the weekly buy last week. And this week, this is a second full week in a buy. And that's one of the big things I like about the new system, is that I find sometimes it really picks up on our work. I found so far that the new system, minus all the glitch things we have going on with it, is doing a pretty good job of being with the old system or ahead of the old system, which is a good thing. Let's see. Oh, let me check the chat line. I've jumped over to something else. There it is. No, nobody's saying anything on the chat line. Quiet. Everybody's, when I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, there's a good chance that a lot of people who are listening to us, at least 50% of them, are having their adult beverages on a Friday night. Some might even be in Saturday morning. Anything's possible at this point. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, from there, let's see, where's that? So, that's gold. Let's put it back up on the screen there. There's gold. And let's take a look at the silver and see how the silver is doing. And silver is playing with the weekly also at the same time. So I'm going to save that. There it is. And there's silver. And silver is in a daily buy, but holding on just by the hair of its chinny chin chin. And you can see here there, but the weekly is trying at this moment in time to get through. It's through it at the moment, just 10 points, but it's still through it. There. And that is that. So from there, we go over to copper. And there's copper, and that's been in that weekly sell and doesn't care. And it's been in the daily sell and doesn't care. And I would imagine that has something to do with that $15 million that we just talked about. Copper is basically, you're looking at the, how copper goes China. And as you can see, copper has fallen down from the $4 area down to the $3.50 area. And so that tells you that, China is not growing. And that's what, when it's growing, money runs towards it, thinking that they're going to be buying copper and knocking down a skyscraper and building a new one. And that's what those ghost cities are, a big waste of money and time. And they don't really give you anything. And you'd be better off just sending simple checks out to people and saving the $500 million to build something like that. Or let people live in it, one or the other. They have these ghost cities where they build them and then knock them down and then build them again so that they're creating jobs. But everything is upside down in that country. All right. So copper not able to get its game together, and there's your classic example. Copper just kind of hanging, just doing nothing, moving down. Whereas, and then silver. When we go back to silver again, you can see that it's sideways for the last couple of days, and the weekly's really having a hard time, getting its energy, But it's trying. It's a precious metal, and money tries to run towards it, and so you can see it's trying. Now, the one that really has me like, what is its malfunction is this one right here. You can see this is platinum, and they tried to lift it yesterday, and they gave us a red dot on it, and it was just in the plus by the hair of its very, very thin gain. And now, here we are, we're in a minus, and we got a green dot, and we're still in that weekly, and they can't get the platinum to go. So, I want to believe that money is running away from, normal assets. I want to believe that the metals are strong. Why we see gold up and so forth is because of the concern that they have about, the economy and the wars and, just all that stuff put together. But when it comes to the action in metals, if we don't see platinum leading on some level, not necessarily price, but just algorithmically, through the algo, then it's usually a warning sign, and that's what we're seeing here is they just can't get this platinum, which you see on the screen right now, through the weekly number whatsoever, and the daily now, as much as it's trying since Monday with that nice little jump, it just cannot really get going. Nowhere near when you go back to look at gold or something like that. Let's just take a look at the gold again. There's gold. You can see there is Monday. So gold went from basically 1932, or let's say 33, to we're trading at 89. So 33 and 89 is 56. So that's up 56 points. Whereas when you go back to the platinum, you can see right there, the platinum, basically started the week off at 900 basically, or 899.4, and it's trading at 9. It's up $1, barely up $1. So, they cannot get that going. And then money came running into the markets, thinking that China. Remember when they thought, oh my goodness, China is coming out of its COVID hibernation. Now they'll be able to carry the world. Let the Americans kind of, go slower. Won't matter because China's going to carry the world. And people realize that they're not able to carry the world. They can't do anything. They can only, if America doesn't buy from them, they are nothing. They are like a colony of the United States, an angry colony. If we don't buy there and invest there, they don't grow. That's it, plain and simple. So, all right, from there we're going to jump over to the Canadian. That way we go and look at the energy sector. Right there's the energy sector, and you can see the same thing. It's losing against the dollar. We're not seeing any real buying going on in Canadian. They're selling Canadian. As this rises, the dollar is gaining against it. Let's put it up over here. There we go. You see, we had a couple days of down, and it turned right back up again. Now, energy itself is probably taking out this top of like 2 weeks ago. Let's go take a look and see that. Actually, I don't think it did, because I think that top was like 95, which was very weird to begin with. You would have thought maybe, let's take a look at the energy contract, the spot, or not the front, it's the front month now of crude oil. Right there, the December contract. And the low is on the 6th. And you can see there is the 10th. There's the 6th. So when this tops out and starts to go down, there's usually strength in oil, and it was. Where's the 6th at? 6th was right there, right? Yeah. And you can see there was strength. the price of oil has gone up overall. But the problem is that started like right here, and then somewhere in the middle of it stopped, and now it's climbing, and it's losing, which is odd. Because here we see, crude oil almost, what's the high today? Today's high is 89.85, basically 90. It hit basically the 90 number. So we're seeing that type of strength. And while we do that, let's do this. Let's take the cat off there for a second. Let's put up Brent on J4X here. There's Brent. Brent is back up over 92, up to 93 now. So it's making, that's some decent highs we're starting to get to. And you see that the big high was back on the late September. And we're in late October almost at this point. We're October 20th. And that's September 19th. It put in that big high of 95.92, basically 96. And you can see is that the 20th? The 20th is something like here. And we went up and made that high with spot at 91.73. And you can see we just got barely touched 90. So we're seeing that strength in the energy sector. We're just not seeing it in the Canadian, which is kind of odd in its own way, All right. Let's from the oil, we're going to go to the bonds after we finish the oil up. I want to finish this off because I think we're going to title this about the global marketplace in general, and it'll be analogous with it. So from there we go over to there's Texas on the right, and let's put Brent up on, was it ZBF? No, is it 6? Maybe it is ZBF. That's what it is right there. There's Brent. So that's not Brent. It's B something. FB. BZ. That's it. There it is. Brent. Here's BZ. And let's put it up on the screen here. And so you can see the weekly is climbing back into a weekly buy again. Now remember, over on our regular oil, let's just put it up on the screen. You can see right there, we're still in that weekly sell. We're trying to get into the buy, but we're not. It's not happening. Whereas here, on our beta, we're getting into that weekly buy. It's trying to turn up. Matter of fact, it's gone in and out of it a couple times with this action. So 2 weeks ago, it went into the buy. 3 weeks ago now, I guess you could say, went into the buy. Down in here at this bottom, went into the buy, and then went into a sell here. So went into the buy this week. We got to get this all lined up together correctly. Get our beta straightened out. So just as it went into the sell, like all the other products, it jumped back into the buy when it made this bottom in here, and then it turned around and it went into the sell again, and then it went back into the buy again. Whereas in here, it refused to give up. Went into the buy and then went into a sell and then jumped back into the buy, and it's been in the buy since. And I'm not sure what that's all about there. That weakness is odd, but it is what it is, because we have the same thing on the other chart, but we didn't. But our red and green dot protected it, I guess, right there. No, which one is it? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right there, red and green. See, green and red. So it stayed in the buy, and that's we need to straighten out our dots in here too to get them to work right on the beta. Oop, not there. Right there. So that is the. Which one is that? That is the Brent on the screen you're seeing there now, and we're still, like I said, you can see it over here on J4X. Same thing. It's climbing. It's trying to get up into the 96 area, and we're at 93 and change now as we speak. 93 15s are bid, 16s are bid, 20s are offered. Watch them trade. There's the 16s bid at 21. Now back to 20. Holding in there, just kind of steady and firm. 15s are bidding, and that's the action we're seeing. All right, so now from there we go over to natural gas. And let's put in the nat gas right there. And you can see it's been selling down, 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 and down. You can see right there, all this push in that direction, this is good for Europe, and it's been in a weekly sell for 5 weeks now. That's good. We're cheering that on because we don't want our European friends to be freezing their little hearts out. And let's put it up right there. There it is. You can see that same thing. See that, and you can see it's flirting with the weekly sell as we speak, just like the J4, not the J4X, the oh, wait a minute, what is that? No, what do we got? Natural gas. Oh, that's interesting. Natural gas has been, what's it been doing? It's been reflecting. Now this is November gas, and it's been reflecting weekly sell for 1, 2, 3, 4, a fifth week. Interesting. So it went into the sell 5 weeks back. So that'd be 1, 2. These are weeks broken up. I'm going to get these things all matched up so it doesn't, so they all line up there. There's 4. So it went into the weekly sell here, up in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So it went into the weekly sell in September 17th, and it did stay down for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we went into a daily buy, but the weekly buy didn't join in, and it was safe. It protected you. So the beta is doing a good job, and then we went right back into the sell again on Friday of last week, and we're just gliding down now. Now that's the Nat Gas, and same thing here on. Let's switch over. You see on our normal platform, it went into the sell the same time as it did on the beta right there. It's just that the weekly got into a weekly buy here, whereas it wasn't a weekly. I guess it was a 3, 4, 5. So it went into the weekly sell back in here, I guess right here on the beta. So it went into a weekly sell there, and now it's trying to climb into it's in the buy, but trying to fall back into the sell, which is fine with me. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like the right thing to do is, with all the inventory we have here in the States, the product can go down. There's no problem. Plenty of room for it to go down. All right, and just like I said, we look at the crude oil. Crude oil is not really doing anything more than just hovering along. Matter of fact, what we should do is let's take a look at that in the beta. Let's see what they're doing with the beta on that too. Let's see. There it is right there. And the weekly has been in a sell and doesn't want to let go either. So it's not respecting this move at all. We got into the buy there, did that in and out, and now we are just kind of cruising along. Let's see if there's another one in there. I think that's it. That is it. We're going to put the December contract in there and remove that November contract since it's expiring. We can take a look at USO too. That's the ETF. And buy for 3 days. And it's just trying to get into the weekly buy this week. That's cool. Maybe that's a sign of more action. I don't know. I'd like to look at these things in a logical way. All right. From there, we go over to, I guess that's about it. Oh, no. We take a look at the natural gas company in Spain. Let's see what they're doing. Let's hope it's under 26. That would be great if it's under 26. Weather's getting colder. We want Europeans to be able to get their natural gas. 26.11 bid. Yesterday was 32. And let's put it up over here. There it is right there. It's been in a sell for days. And a weekly sell for 2 full weeks. That's good. And 3 out of 4 weeks. So let it glide down. Let it glide down and get back into that 25s and the 24s. Let's hope it keeps on rolling. I saw an article this morning that talked about the coal not really increasing. So there has been talk that they can fire up coal plants and insert simple, small nuclear reactors using the same facility and just turning them into nuclear facilities. So that's a possibility why they're opening up coal plants. Maybe they're going to put little nuclear-powered power plants in them. That would be nice. All right. From there, what else do we got to go? Okay, so that's it. Now, we talked about trying to understand China more. We've talked about that. We always do talk about that. It's always a challenge. We're always confused because we just don't get enough information on them. That's the problem. And so we showed you this morning and yesterday how we didn't even show you the bond situation. We just showed you the where is it at? Let's find it. We showed the default from a couple days ago. But not only did we see that, let me find it right here. Let's see. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. We found out this morning, looking at the data, that they've been selling bonds except for 1 month. That was back in August, and so that is. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. We're going to find it and put it up on the screen. And let's see, what is that? Where is it at? It is. We're getting close. There it is. Okay, and let's move that over to this screen right here real quick. It says China liquidated the most U.S. securities in 4 years to prop up plunging yuan. And you can see they've been. This is the bond sales, monthly change in China. And they sold something like 14 billion last month, and just showing the pressure on them. And obviously they're the second largest bond hold. I guess they're the third largest bond holder in the world. Americans are the number one bond holder of American bonds. We hold like almost half the bonds. It's a little less. It's like 44 or 46%. Then that's private investment, not the government. I'm not talking about what the Federal Reserve holds. And then the second largest bondholder is Japan. And then the third is China. And then from there, I think it's Great Britain is number 4. And so, here we see that. Now we see the pairs trades. We're going to remove that for a second. Move that. Let's just shrink it at the moment. And you're going to see, we're going to put bonds up. Because bonds have been drifting. And a lot of people were confused, overall. And maybe, if bond selling, and let's say they get this default thing figured out get this default figured out in China, then maybe they'll stop selling bonds and interest rates will rise again, because when you sell bonds, interest rates are rising. If you stop selling bonds, chances are interest rates are flat, or even buyers might dominate. And when you buy bonds, you're lowering interest rates. When the price goes up, as you reach to buy them. So that's pretty much the name of the game here at this point. Maybe in a lot of ways, we're really seeing more bond pressure, not because of the Federal Reserve and raising rates and things like that, but we're really seeing bond pressure more because of the pressure itself of the Chinese needing cash. I mean, they don't have $15 million, which is like, wow. Now, they just sold enough bonds to get, I think they had $14 billion in bonds sold. So they're rushing around putting money in the holes that need to be fixed. And obviously that the number one investor, private investor in China, it means nothing with $11 billion in debt. That's a big haircut to have to take. They're going to have to go into receivership. So, all right, traders, that's about it. This is Doc. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. We will catch you all on Monday, which is TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a safe and smart weekend. We'll catch you later. Ta-ta for now.